Welcome back, everybody. Late June 1862. A lot of action this turn. Interestingly enough, he attacked me in Alexandria and won that battle. Although, as you'll see, we inflicted more casualties on him than he did on us. It looks like what he did was he railed Stonewall Jackson out of the Shenandoah over to here. So he's got that core of about 4 divisions. And then looks like maybe a small little core under Holmes is also here. She's got 2 core. And then a 3rd core back here under Longstreet. So let's pull that battle up here first. All right, so we had 61,000 troops in Alexandria. That was 2 of our core, 2 of our 3 core. He had 93,700 troops. So that's his entire army of Northern Virginia. He lost 12,000. We lost 8,600, which I'm actually really happy with that because he's got better generals. He had the numbers, and we still managed to inflict significantly more casualty. I don't know why we're on orange. That's kind of weird. Since we were, we had 100% military control. That's weird. So let's go through it here. As you can see, he's got Holmes. Why doesn't it show? Okay, and then Jackson, and then Longstreet probably showed up here as well. I'm not seeing Longstreet. So he's got AP Hill, 312, 311 under Thompson, or actually higher than that. He just created that division that turn. That's probably why his numbers are down. Same with this guy. Smith, Kirby Smith, Stewart, all cavalry. B 322, Ewell 4 attack, DH Hill 3 attack 3 defense, McClaws 3 defense. So that's what he had, and then we had, because I've been going through the turns and that sort of thing. It was only a 2-hour battle, which is interesting. Round 1. We inflicted some pretty good amount of casualties. That might have been because only one of his only one of his core were committed at the time. Because then everybody shows up in round 2, and then I think we just retreat due to the numbers. But regardless, I'm pretty happy with that. Now here's the situation. So he's in Alexandria. He gave up the Shenandoah. I doubt he would attack Alexandria and then just stop here. We've been talking back and forth since this turn. He's saying he's going for DC. Sometimes we say things just to screw with each other, but I actually think he's going for DC, and it makes sense, right? Because this is probably the strongest the Confederacy will be in proportion to the Union as far as forces on the field, right? If he waited until summer of 63 like I did in our last game, the Union's going to be significantly stronger because your economy's kicked in. All the infrastructure investments you put into the game early have kicked in. All that shipping, monies has kicked in, all those sort of things, right? So now is the time for him to do it. And I'm not too concerned. I feel like I can defend DC this summer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually abandon Harper's Ferry, pull Hamilton back to this rail line area here, bring Kearney across here, because not only do I have a division inside here in this fort, so what that should do is prohibit him from moving on DC until he takes this fort. But having Kearney here will give me this river crossing defense opportunity. Having Hamilton available to provide support to Kearney. And then having Whipple rather, down here also to provide support. So if he attacks here, he's going to hit all 3 of my core. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to move Franklin back to Baltimore. Annapolis. I've created a core out of him, so he's connected to McDowell. By the way, McDowell got injured, so he's here. But I was able to connect him there. And then I'm going to take all of my behind-the-lines troops that I'm building and put them into here. And within a turn or 2, I should be able to get 2 divisions here, or a division and a half. So that'll be some additional oomph. I can provide defense to Washington, D.C. in the event that I need it. These guys are what I'm really banking on, because this is a whole division right here, basically. Just these guys here alone. And then I'm training up guys every turn here and moving forces forward. So I have a pretty good chance, I think, of defending DC this year. That's why I'm willing to give up Harper's Ferry for the moment, because by the time the defense of DC is done, I should have inflicted some pretty good casualties on him. He'll have to reset. I can then perhaps go on the offensive at that point and be more aggressive. So we'll see how that goes. I am leaving behind a tiny little force here in Harper's Ferry just to try and hold it. And then I'm going to move my cavalry up here to Winchester. Take that because it is connected by the rail line here. And then hopefully I can hold this area going forward. But we shall see. We were able to take Fort Donelson on the first try. What I'm a little annoyed by is Lyons did not promote. I don't know why he didn't. You think he would have from this, but he did not. We did get artillery out of it, which is pretty cool. And then we actually got an extra supply wagon. So I attached that to him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move one of my 2 stars up here, connect him to Lyon, so that I can move to the sound of guns if he wants to try and cross the river and attack Fort Donelson. He won't be able to probably do it this turn because I have this guy right here. But I am moving this guy out of here. The reason being is he moved his own ironclads forward. He's got 4 of them. And then a whole bunch of gunboats. So I need to consolidate as best I can. Granted, I'm still a little divided. But I'm going to keep him here one more turn because I don't want him to reinforce Nashville. So I'm going red on Nashville. I've got Gilbert here as a supporting corps in between the 2. And so what I'll have is 3 corps across here. Once I take Nashville, I'll consolidate these naval forces and decide what I want to do next. We were able to take Munfordville, so we're going to entrench here and then build a depot. He's got a couple of irregulars here behind my lines trying to tear up rail lines, so we're going to attack them where we can. I'm going to bring some cavalry forward here, attach him to my 4 strategic commander, and use him to hunt these guys down. And then here's what we have in Cairo. About a division and a half for defense in case he tries to go on the offensive there. And then we're just training up troops using Siegel over here in St. Louis. He did take this fort again, so I'm just going to keep kind of chasing him around. This is my far left flank defensive guy. So I'm going to have him hanging out over here until I can finally push him out of Fayetteville and push him out of the rest of Indian Country and Kansas and Missouri. Far west. He's got an okay sized force here in Santa Fe. I'm kind of wondering what his supply is like. I might actually cut off his supply now that I think about it. Or actually, can I? Yeah, can. All right, cool. I want to cut his supply off. Is it mud? What's the issue here? Why is it taking so long to get down there? It's kind of weird. All right, we're going to put some Unionists there and then cut him off. He can't have too much supply up there, and I only know that because I didn't have much supply when I was there. All right, and then going after this guy, and then I'm going to consolidate this cavalry unit. This guy, bring him down, combine him with him, and then bring him down, combine him with him. And then hopefully at that point be in a position to push him out of there. I've got this guy I'm building up now. He's about half a division. And then he's almost a full division. And I've got too much artillery in that guy. Hold on. Sorry. Noticing as these things as I go through here. Alright. But again, build these guys out. I might take him and take western New Mexico. Just to kind of threaten his flank and force him either to split his forces or move. back. That might be the next move, but what I want to do is I want to get this depot done, get supply forward, and then go from there. So supply, we're really good here, right? So Western Arizona's got a whole bunch of supply. The idea is to pull supply forward here, and then use that as a springboard to get into El Paso at some point. All right, let's see what else happened here. Yep, took him out. Okay, so yeah, he's got 4. That's right. So I put my gunboats, I think, here, just to prevent his crossing, and he took those out, which it's fine, whatever. Gunboats are expensive to build, so they're obviously expensive to lose, but they're really not that all that helpful, with the exception of crossing river paths, in my opinion. They just don't do a lot of damage to other navies, and they don't really bombard very well, and they take a lot of damage pretty quickly from bombardment. So, all right, he had 2,300, and we took that out. That's Fort Donelson. Yeah. Okay, so anything else before we run the turn here? Got money from steel conversion. 88 money. Nice. From shipping. So it's definitely going up, and we're still sending more transports down there. So that money's going to keep on going up. Got bombarded. Okay, nice. Okay, so while patrolling, we inflicted 2 hits. So what I did is these guys are going in and out of this shipping lane box on red. And so it looks like they were able to hit him a few times. And that's what I'm going for, right? Is I'm just going to keep rotating them in and out. And then hopefully over time take out those smuggling ships. Not seeing really anything else here to highlight. This is taking a little bit longer than usual just because a lot happened this turn. Alright, Hooker is getting up there to be a 2-star pretty soon, which is good. Which, to be honest, like, as a Union, you have plenty of 2-stars. You need good division commanders. Which, Hooker is one of those. Alright, no morale swing, which is interesting. So, I mean, that's good, actually, because us losing Alexandria, even though we inflicted more casualties, that could have very easily been a morale loss. We're going to move on Nashville this turn. Hopefully we do it, and we win it. We'll see. He does have... looks like about a half a core there, so it's not going to be the easiest thing. Last thing I want to show you here real quick. So we're building what looks like 4 more transports, and then we're done with that, and then we're sending 6 more down to the shipping lanes, and we just delivered 4 more to the shipping lanes this turn as well. All right, let's see, anything else we need to do? I don't believe so. So let's run the turn and see what happens. I'll be curious to see on this turn if he's going to try and cross that river from Alexandria. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. I think that's going to be his next move. So hopefully I can get to where I need to be before he does that. So that's me attacking there in the Shenandoah. I did get that river crossing penalty, which is probably why we're having some problems here. Now we're sieging it. Cool. Got it. Oh, damn, he made it across. Okay, so he got across the river before we did, which is interesting. But So that's my guy in the fort, which looks like he's going to take that fort. We did rail over here, so it looks like if our cores engage, it's going to be all of my cores. Wow, I had 11,000 troops in there. Yeah, alright, so shoot. So he got the river crossing penalty because he got there before I did. Where are the rest of my corps? His whole corps is not here either. Come on, where is everybody? If I can even just stay in the region, I'd be fine with that. This is crazy. Oh, so okay, so yeah, he got everybody showed up. It looks like maybe all my guys showed up. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. I'm really surprised he got there before I did. That's very... So, it looks like Kearney's force is probably not much of this fight now. This is probably Hamilton's corps and Whipple of that 65,000. But Kearney's in charge because McDowell's out of the fight, and Kearney is the most ranking corps commander. This is a crazy battle. This is wild. I cannot believe the casualties. Good lord. Yeah, I got really screwed on that. So not only did my fort not hold, he beat me across the river, which I'd like to know how that happened, but. Good God, this is just a complete massacre. On both sides. I mean, I think he's lost about 20,000 troops at this point. I've probably lost the same. I think it's the same on both sides. What sucks for me too is his position. It makes it really hard for me to counterattack towards DC because I have to go across that river north of DC. And, you know, he could leave a corps where we're having this battle at right now when he attacks DC. Man, this is this is pretty wild. A lot of casualties here. This is one of the longer battles I've actually seen in this game. Definitely going to be a morale swing on that one. All right, so lost... all right, so I lost 28,000. He lost 22,000. That's largely because I got that river crossing penalty because he got there before I did. We might as well go through this right now since we're watching it. So it's just Kearney to start. I did not get a river crossing penalty, interestingly enough. Okay. Maybe because he didn't have military control yet. I don't know. But they fled because he inflicted a fair amount of casualties. I don't know why they fled, though, because he only had his one corps here at the time. And then round two looks like when everybody showed up. That's when it got pretty intense. I lost a division. And what sucks too is he's my two defense guy, so that's not good. All right. But yeah, there you go. All right, so let's. I'm feeling a little bit more nervous now about DC, to be perfectly honest with you. Interesting. I still have that fort, it looks like. Okay, so I still have the fort, and he's over here. Whew. Okay, so I feel a little bit better about that. Alright, I'm gonna have to figure this out here. Look at this. See what works best. I mean, that was a lot of casualties, right? Replacements are probably pretty low now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through that. Should be able to... Shoot. I think I'm gonna have to print money. Oh, I didn't take Winchester after all. Okay. Well, the game's afoot. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. All right, how much? Let's see. McDowell, he's out for another turn. Okay. By the way, so just to show you the connection here, so they're all connected. So we lost a ton of. Wow, that's pretty significant. We lost a lot of national morale, losing right there. You'd think we would have got a fair amount from taking Nashville, but we did not. Let's see here. Got almost 100 money from our shipping, so it just keeps going up. I want to see what we got for... We got nothing for Nashville. Give me a break. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's absurd. Yeah, so we lost 2 from the stockade battle, which that's dumb, and 9 from the battle afterwards. So we lost a lot of national morale. So my gamble a few turns ago, where I used 2 national morale to get money, because I thought my national morale was going to be pretty good this year with like taking Nashville and stuff. Apparently, that didn't fly very well. So that's pretty irritating. But yeah. All right. Well, let me go through and do my usual, and I'll be back. What's this guy doing? I don't know if he must have pulled his guys out of there before I attacked. That's what happened there. But now I got him on the other side of the river. So now I got to figure out what to do from there. He did not go on the offensive up here, which is good because I kind of was worried he might do that. Yeah, this guy's going to be... Okay. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to make this quick. Things aren't as bad in Virginia as I thought they were going to be. He's still besieging this fort. He did not take it, which theoretically means, since I have an entire division in here, because even though I lost the battle here and lost 2 morale, I'm not bitter. I have an entire division here, unscathed, holding down this fort, which an entire division should be enough to hold a corps from moving out of that region. So I have at least 1 turn here where I can consolidate forces in DC and get everybody here. He's got about... I'd say we're fairly close in number now between the reinforcements I'm bringing up for my rear and then consolidating all my corps. So I feel pretty good about holding DC, to be honest. I just got some new generals this turn. We got Slocum, who's a 3 defense. Sedwig, who's a 2 defense. We got Reno, who's a 2 defense. And then we also got all the way over here in Springfield, Sheridan, who obviously is a good cavalry commander, but he's a 3-2. I feel like they underrated his stats in this game. He really should be more like a, I don't know, like a 4-3 or something like that. I mean, he was a phenomenal commander in the Civil War, and one of Sheridan's top go-to commanders, both in the West as well as the East. Anyways, so I'm consolidating in DC. I would love to take this opportunity to go after Richmond, to be honest with you, but I just don't have the forces. I decided to invest in infrastructure, as you saw. If I had gone with just troops, then I would be in a much better situation right now to go after Richmond. I suspect, although I haven't talked to Josh about this, that he is doing this in 62. One, because this is probably the best window for the Confederacy to do this, but then two, he saw what I was doing with regards to money on the infrastructure side of things and probably knew that I did not have as big of a force over here in the East as I perhaps could have had I not done that. So all things considered equal, I think we're okay. 63 will be really where the big blue wave is going to happen if I can survive DC, which I think I can. But I'm going to consolidate here, and then we'll go from there. I want to hold the Shenandoah because it's a nice way to kind of rear end Manassas and force the Confederacy out of Manassas without an actual battle. So I want to hold the Shenandoah, and then if I can push him back across the Rappahannock here, then I want to go on the offensive probably and really take Manassas and get him pushed back around Fredericksburg. That's the hope. All right, Navy, I'm moving this guy down to go attack his raiders. I'm going to hold this guy back, and then I'm just going to rotate these two guys back and forth every turn. All right, the West, it took me a little bit to figure out what to do here because I'm in a really good situation. Having Nashville, having basically a core on the wrong side of the river for him, and then he's got forces down here. I don't know where they went. I'm assuming they went to Memphis and Chattanooga probably, or down here, but I don't know. So there's a lot of different ways I could have gone. I think I'm going to hold pat this one turn because he brought his Navy here. And what's a little frustrating for me is I was going to take Gilbert and rail him up to here and then attack Forney the next turn because he can't, theoretically, right? He can't sail out of here because I have a fleet here. So he'd have to physically move his forces out, which is going to be really hard for him to move up and around and get away from me before he can get out of there. He could do it, possibly. It's going to be hard. The best way for him to do it is use river points and sail out, but he can't as long as my fleet's here. Now, what's weird is he brought his fleet down, but there was no battle. So I'm going to move my fleet here because then I could box his fleet in. I could also box Forney in. And then if he tries to move out, at least there's a battle between my consolidated naval forces here. Hopefully. Probably want to go blue, green. Though if he attacks me, hopefully I escape. I'm pretty confident in my supplies, so I'm not too worried about all my river boats being right here. I'm going to consolidate here. This guy's already able to... No, he's not, but he is. He's able to bombard. So if he comes up here, I can bombard him. Pretty soon, Grant will be able to do the same thing as well on his fleet. And then I'll see what it does with Forney. But I really want to take out Forney. So we'll see where he goes. I am bringing down Dix because if I recall correctly, he doesn't have a big force here. So even though I'll have the river crossing penalty, I've got, effectively 2 divisions full now. And I feel pretty confident in taking him out unless he moves him up. But I don't know why he would move up here to Bowling Green. That would make no sense. He wants to get him out of there. So he's going to go south. He's not going to go north. So we should be okay here. All right. Anything else? For some reason, he really wanted to take this fort out. I don't know why. But he's excited that he can burn this fort. I don't really care. I just want to kill that guy. I don't care about the fort. I care about that guy. But anyways. In the far west, not a whole lot going on. I put some guys here to get military control, cut his supply off. I'm going to take this place out here to take this area out. So military control, cut him off completely, force him out of there due to lack of supply, and then just move forward that way. And then we have here. The reason the far west is important is that if, as the Union, you can cut through El Paso here. If you can take El Paso, all of Texas is for your taking, literally. I mean, you saw it last game when I was playing Josh. What happened to the far west once he took El Paso? My whole western flank here just collapsed. because you do not, as the Confederacy, have the resources to cover your rear. So what you can do as a Union is move up here and then just completely in the rear take out all of the critical infrastructure and recruiting locations for Texas without having to, without coming from all the way down here from Missouri through Arkansas down into Texas. That's why the far west is important. And it's not something you take in a year or two. It's definitely like a 63, 64 thing. But if you can do it, it dramatically hampers the war efforts for the Confederacy. And that's why I like to do it. All right, so builds. I did not put... I put everything I had in replacement chits. Basically, I didn't build any new troops because we're hurting here. Almost 600 on line infantry, 230 on elites, and so forth. By the way, he's having the same problem because he lost as many troops, right? Let's go to this battle. He lost all of his dudes basically, but I still didn't take the town, which is stupid. That was down here at Winchester. He had 14,000 troops, but he got out of there, which is annoying. Which is right here, but he doesn't have a core. That's why I assume that I don't know. I'm gonna see what he does. He's gonna run, so I can't really attack him anyways, right? So I just have to let that go. I was kind of hoping I'd inflict some casualties there. He's got 87,000 troops total between him and Stewart or Jackson. That's what he's got here, 87. I probably have about 90. I think probably 90 told with everything consolidated near DC. And he still needs to take this fort. He can't cross. I got my ships here, so he won't be able to just cross. And he hasn't even taken Alexandria yet. All right, there you go. Yep. This is the battle we saw. Okay, whatever. Yep. All right. We suffered some significant morale penalties that turn. 11. Pretty frustrating because it should have been lower. I mean, we should have suffered some morale hits because if you lose a battle next to DC, obviously it's going to create a lot of hysteria, real world. But it should have been 11. That's insane. That's stupid. All right. Let me get this over to Josh, and we'll run the turn and see how things go.